Excellency Vice Chairman, National Development and Reforms Commission, Mr. Lin Nianshu, Excellencies and dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and Ni Hao. Hen Rong Sing Ju Shi Di Ba Ji JCC Hoe Yi. It gives me immense pleasure to participate and co-chair 8th Joint Coordination Committee meeting. I had the honor of chairing the 1st to the 7th JCC meetings. I am grateful to National Development and Reforms Commission, with whom I have worked very closely for making CPEC an internationally recognized bilateral initiative of immense significance. I would like to start by congratulating the Chinese leadership for the successful CPEC Congress held recently. His Excellency President Xi Jinping has led China with courage, vision, and dynamism. His re-election for another term would ensure continuity of the policies for progress and well-being of the Chinese people, as well as China's constructive role on the global stage through initiatives such as BRI and Global Development Initiative. It is a matter of great satisfaction that Pakistan and China continue to stay close together as the Iron Brothers, and the all-weather strategic cooperative partnership has progressed to new heights. Pakistan has recently witnessed another natural calamity in form of unprecedented climate disaster. More than 1,700 lives were lost, while 2.2 million houses were damaged, more than 1 million livestock was lost, and millions of people lost their livelihoods. China has always provided generous assistance, for which we are grateful to the Chinese government and people. The Chinese government and companies have been at the forefront in extending aid for flood relief. While flood relief phase is essentially over, Pakistan is now faced with a gigantic task of rehabilitating the people and areas severely affected by floods. Our damage need assessment shows a loss of over 30 billion US dollars. Rehabilitation from devastation at this scale is not possible for any country to manage on its own. We would therefore expect cooperation from international community for this massive effort. It is heartening to note that CPEC has made steady progress over the years. Since its inception in 2013, in the energy sector, 11 projects of over 6,370 megawatt have been completed, along with an high voltage DC transmission line of 880 kilometers. 3 more projects of around 1,200 megawatts are expected to be completed within 2023-24. We need to ensure that projects of another 3,100 megawatts, which have achieved 90% milestones for financial close, 700 megawatt Azad Patan, 1124 Kohala Hydel project, and 1320 megawatt Thar Coal Block 1 project are finalized at the earliest so as to get closer to our envisaged target of 17,000 megawatts. Another vitally important achievement of CPEC is the development of coal mining in Thar, which has enabled us to make use of this tremendous indigenous resource as cheapest source of energy, which had remained unutilized for 7 decades. In the transport infrastructure, motorways and highways, around 888 kilometers have been constructed with both Chinese and local financing. Another 853 under construction through local financing. The Karakoram Highway, Tharkot Havelian section, one of the flagship projects of this sector, has received international recognition. Multan Sakha Motorway is another flagship project in transport sector. Similarly, Gwadar Port has been made operational at a number of infrastructure and social sector projects have been completed, which will go a long way in socio-economic development of a smart port city, which promises to improve the lives and livelihoods of the people of Gwadar as well as its adjoining coastal areas. A lot of work is still required to be done to make it the transport hub according to its true potential. We appreciate the generous grant assistance from Chinese side for a number of projects of Gwadar. The government of Pakistan has also made significant investments to ensure supply of sufficient water and electricity to the people of Gwadar city. Government of Pakistan has also approved cross-stuffing policy and transshipment policy to promote port-related business activities. We have also expedited work on the dredging and breakwater, which did not get sufficient attention in the recent past years. It is now the time to bring in investors to populate the free zone as well as to undertake projects for development of the business district worthy of a bustling port city and some high-quality tourist resorts as the new Gwadar International Airport nears completion next year. We would like to propose signing of MOUs to promote private sector cooperation in these areas. While we now want to focus on the next phase of CPEC with an emphasis on B2B cooperation, there is some pending agenda on the infrastructure side which needs to be finalized urgently. Pakistan Railways Main Line 1 is on top of this agenda. It is a strategic project where we have already signed the framework agreement. The project cost has been updated from Pakistani side to bring it in line with the current prices. The project is ready for the bidding process among the eligible Chinese companies as required under the framework agreement. The signing of commercial contract will pave the way for finalization of financing agreement and eventually the physical implementation of the project. I would request NDRC and NRA to give go-ahead for the bidding process to commence immediately, and we set timelines from now till the groundbreaking of the project in March 2023. May I also add that if we did not start ML1 project immediately, the main line of Pakistan Railways, which is the transport backbone, is likely to collapse within 1 year because for last 6 years after it was taken under CPEC framework, Railway has not invested in this project because it was to be upgraded and modernized under CPEC. Now the recent floods have greatly damaged this project and we need to take this project on highest priority. The deterioration of this vital track due to lack of maintenance in anticipation of Chinese funded upgrade as well as the recent floods has added to the urgency to launch this project. Another priority project is Karachi Circular Railway, which will benefit a large segment of population of the largest city of Pakistan, Karachi. The provincial government of Sindh has revised the project documents and its internal processing by Government of Pakistan has been completed. The project is proposed to be implemented under G2G arrangements on the same lines as Lahore Orange Line metro train project, done very successfully by both countries. Excellency, we are aware of the difficulties faced by CPEC IPPs during the recent years. The record high international fuel prices have caused severe problems for economies around the world. These sky-high prices also put a stress on the power sector in Pakistan, and resultantly, IPPs also faced growing difficulties. There were other issues related to domestic power sector as well. We have worked hard to address most of these difficulties. A number of significant issues have been addressed: withholding tax, offshore procurement contract for Kohala and Azad Patan projects has been settled, 17% sales tax on import of plant and machinery, equipment for under construction energy projects has been waived. Efforts are also underway to develop better understanding between the IPPs and the regulatory institutions. We are committed to maintaining the tax and tariff policies stable and establishing a more standardized and facilitating power market in Pakistan, and we would never forget that these IPPs invested in Pakistan when no one else in the world was willing to invest in Pakistan. They are our friends, and we are committed to making sure that our friends have a good business environment in Pakistan. Excellency, some projects in the energy sector are facing prolonged delays. The Azad 700 megawatt Azad Patan, 1124 megawatt Kohala, and 1320 megawatt Thar Block 1 power project would optimize the energy mix of Pakistan. These projects are very important components of CPEC and need to be facilitated for the early financial close and approval from Sinashore. I would request Chinese side to also recommend solution for the 300 megawatt Gwadar power plant, as we have now also made huge investments to connect Gwadar with national grid, and also arrangements are in place to import electricity from Iran in the short run. The exceptionally high international coal prices have resulted in exceptionally high prices of electricity and liquidity issues for the power sector that have forced us to reconsider imported coal for power projects. We have to also ensure that environment of Gwadar city is protected through strict environmental standards. The government of Pakistan has also launched an initiative to include 10,000 megawatts of solar energy in our system. Government of Sindh has offered 2,000 megawatts renewable energy projects for private investment. We would encourage Chinese companies to participate in this initiative. We would also propose that the government of China may create a financing window or a credit line for Chinese companies to participate in renewable energy and solar energy projects in Pakistan. Excellency, the second phase of CPEC has already started. However, a lot more needs to be done to make it a success. We are making progress on the development of 4 priority SEZs, including Rashakai, Allama Iqbal Industrial City, Dhabeji, and Bostan. However, I feel that we have not been able to replicate the Chinese experience in this area. In order to set up our SEZs on the lines of Chinese SEZs, we would require the help and support of your technical experts who could advise our SEZ authorities on a regular basis. I believe this can be done under the Industrial Cooperation Framework Agreement recently signed by the two sides. The Board of Investment will present a formal proposal in this regard. We also wish to develop and propose linkages of our SEZs with the Chinese institutions through 1+5 mechanism. The Board of Investment will also submit a formal proposal to put in place such a mechanism for some of the existing SEZs. linking of each SEZ to one local government or a provincial government, one leading SEZ, one leading Chinese trade association, one big Chinese enterprise, and one Chinese state construction company. We also seek expert advice from Chinese friends and experts for development of export sector of Pakistan, because the fundamental problem of Pakistani economy is it has failed to develop its export potential, and we have serious problems after every 5 to 7 years. So we would like to learn from the know-how, knowledge of our Chinese friends to develop export potential of Pakistan from $30 billion to $100 billion in shortest possible time, how to link our industry, agriculture, and service sector with the global supply chains and have accelerated growth in export sector. This is critical and vital for our economic future. We deeply acknowledge the support of Chinese side for socio-economic development projects in Pakistan. These projects have helped to uplift the livelihood of the people, and it has great significance towards the sustainable and long-term development of CPEC. Agriculture cooperation is one of the essential elements of the second phase of CPEC. While we have finalized some agreements to promote export of Pakistani agricultural items to China, we need to substantially enhance the scope and scale of these products. The Ministry of National Food Security has proposed an MOU on cooperation in plant and animal quarantine and phytosanitary measures, which will help pave the way of export of meat, vegetable, and fruits to China. It is an important initiative and it needs to be finalized urgently. CPEC cooperation has widened and strengthened with addition of science and information technology cooperation areas. The role of technology in today's world continues to grow in importance and usefulness. Establishment of Pakistan-China Technology Business Forum to provide a platform for local ICT companies to participate in business matchmaking and trade promotion activities on a preferential basis is welcome initiative. Both sides need to promote active cooperation between the technology companies of our two countries to maximize mutual benefits. Our recent experience of unprecedented floods have once again emphasized the importance of water management and climate change. Pakistan, being a highly vulnerable country, needs to take urgent steps in this regard. We have agreed to the Chinese proposal for inclusion of flood sector cooperation in the joint working group for socio-economic development so that flood-related joint working group on planning and long-term plan has discussed inclusion of a new area of water resources management and climate change in CPEC and establishment of a dedicated joint working group for it. Another area of interest already included in CPEC is mining. I hope that the establishment of subgroup for mining agreed under the joint working group on industrial cooperation will help us initiate cooperation in this area. This subgroup should eventually become a full-fledged joint working group. Excellency, Government of Pakistan is aware of the security-related challenges to CPEC. This great bilateral initiative has been a target of propaganda as well as physical attacks, because the enemies of Pakistan and China want to sabotage CPEC, but the commitment of Pakistan and China is like China wall, and no enemy can ever defeat our commitment and resolve to move forward on path of CPEC and making it a flagship project for the whole world. The government of Pakistan has taken a number of measures to ensure foolproof security to Chinese personnel working in Pakistan. We have been regularly updating the Embassy of China on the actions being taken in this regard. It is our commitment that the Chinese personnel will be given the best possible security while working in Pakistan, and we greatly acknowledge the contribution of Chinese workers, Chinese managers who have devoted their many years to make these projects successful, leaving behind their families in China. Excellency, I hope that today's deliberations would give a new impetus to CPEC, and it will begin a new era, leaving behind the legacy of COVID period, which has affected our ability to have face-to-face meetings, resulting in a restricted interaction and consultations. The decisions we take today will go a long way in furthering the aims of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. I hope that this 11th JCC will be able to give three very important messages: that CPEC is coming back to the same momentum that it saw during 2013 and 18. Number two, that CPEC is also moving forward with new initiatives. And three, CPEC is graduating from government to government cooperation to business cooperation. I wish to thank you and your team for the efforts made and the work done to make this meeting a success. Ba Zhong Yui Wan Soi.